Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing super well. Remember to drink water because hydrate or die straight. Come on folks. And I hope you're taking care of yourself. You deserve it. So today we're starting with something a little bit new. I'm very excited because today we're gonna be doing book reviews. I've always wanted to do book reviews. I'm a huge reader. I've been an avid reader all of my life. And I finally said, let's bite the bullet and give you guys my opinions on some of the books I read and the storytelling and from a, writer-editor perspective. So without further ado, welcome one and all to Chaos Corner, where we dive into the chaotic world of books and stir up literary mayhem one book review at a time. I'm really excited to share you guys with this book series. It's been one that I've been wanting to read for a very long time. And it's a bigger series, so get ready for a lot of the book reviews to be this kind of series, at least for the first couple weeks, because this one's got me by the throat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is From Blood and Ash from Jennifer L. Armentrout, and let me tell you, this book, girl, I threw out all expectations with this book. For those that do not know, I'm going to give you a little synopsis from the author about kind of what happens, kind of just kind of not, because for viewers that would like to read the book, I want to give them some enticement, and then for the viewers that have read the book, we're going to give the explanation. A maiden, chosen from birth and usher of a new era, Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with her guards, fighting back the evil, than look after her family, than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice was never hers. A duty. The entire kingdom's future rests upon Poppy's shoulders, something she's not quite sure for herself. Because a maiden at heart, and a soul, and a longing, and then Hawk, a golden-eyed guard, honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life. Destiny and duty become entangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, making her question everything everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. A kingdom. Forsaken by the gods and feared by mortals, a fallen kingdom is rising once more, determined to take back what they believe to be theirs through violence and vengeance. A shadow of those cursed draws closer, a line between what is forbidden and what is blurred. Poppy is not only on the verge of losing her heart, but being found unworthy by the gods, but also her life, when every blood-soaked thread that she holds her world together begins to unravel. So this book is very high fantasy, very dark romance vibes, very much romance and fantasy. It was released in March of 2020 and it has 622 pages. I know it doesn't look like it because it's kind of small compared to some of these bigger books I got back here, but there's a lot. So Goodreads views this as a 4.26 out of 5, and it was the winner for best romance of that year. Now that some of the base information's out of the way, let's get into my thoughts. I bought this book maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I kind of put it off. I had just finished reading the Touch of Darkness series from Scarlett St. Clair, which is right over here, which, if you guys want me to do a review on this one, please let me know, because they have 2 or 3 more books coming out from both Hades' perspective and Persephone's perspective, and I will reread the series and do a review on it. I love that series so much. This story is about a girl named Poppy who is a maiden and the chosen one, veiled and handpicked by the gods, and is sent to ascend and become practically immortal, but the Dark Ones and what are deemed dissenters don't agree and kind of want to take control back, which we learn later in the books why, which the reviews are already written. I'm currently doing a bulk filming, so get ready for this, folks. But the Dark One and his dissenters don't agree, and they take back control and kidnap Poppy. Once she's kidnapped by Hawk, she then finds out the truth about the Ascended. The Ascended are actually vampires instead of the godlike creatures they try to project themselves as. The entire country of Solace is indoctrinated and corrupted from the real truth. So I will say this one took me a little bit to read, and I kind of understand why. For the beginning of the book is kind of hard to get into because there's a lot of world building. This is, again, very high fantasy, very, I don't want to say avant-garde, but it kind of is. It's very out there, and the way that she sets up the relationship dynamic is not typically one that people would go to for a dark romance. When you think of dark romances, it's you either have a feisty girl or a not very feisty girl, and that kind of dictates how the relationship goes. But this one, it's so far off from your typical like relation or dark romance relationship that you would think, because you don't really even like, yes, the first couple chapters you get some like a little bit of spice, but it's really just Poppy trying to live and like be a normal person instead of like this veiled one nobody can see, whatever. Again, the setting and location for this, very high fantasy. It normally isn't a problem for me, but some of these scenes, for all intents and purposes, I'm calling them scenes because there are going to be multiple scenes within a chapter, so just to break down certain moments within a book, are very detailed. And I know for some people they love it because it can help them create a better picture in their head, but I am neurospicy, and I need to have a little bit of my own imagination. It's very hard for me to read books that are very just this, and this. And like, this is what's in the room and this is exactly how it looks, and go from there. I need to have a little bit of imagination when it comes to, oh, what would she be wearing, or what room would it look like, or based on the description, what can I kind of contextually think of? Because when I read these books, it is quite literally like I am transported into another world, and I am kind of just a fly on the wall watching these interactions. And so because I'm neurospicy and things are very detailed for me, it's a lot of information for me to try to remember. And when you have multiple scenes set in different places, like the Grand Hall or an office or the gardens, having it so like detailed can be hard for my imagination to play. Now, I know that sounds bad, and I know you're like, Morgan, what the fuck? Why are you shitting on more detail? Shouldn't you be able to paint a better picture in your head? And don't get me wrong, I love that these books are detailed, and I love that we have that information, but sometimes that over details removes the imagination from a scene, and imagination is limitless. Imagining based on the limited details that are given for what the room would look like, or what the setting would look like, or what even some of the characters look like, where the characters are placed, how they're framed. I think of it from a very film perspective of where would these people be located, what is their blocking, that kind of stuff. For those that don't know, I'm heavy in the film industry. Hello, hi. So I think of that, of how would they be placed in the room as if it were a film. And again, it just helps me to immerse a bit deeper into the story and overall world that the author is trying to create. And I know now, I can hear you screaming, but Morgan, this is a book, not a movie. And for that, I'm sorry. But most of my favorite movies have been based off of books, and what I want to do in the future is to make movies based off of books. And I think very much like that when I read books, because I think that each one of these books could be a potential movie or series. So, sue me. So yeah, it didn't really leave room for imagination, which made me slow down and really read and absorb the scenes and the chapters in front of me. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something I wasn't used to when it came to reading. Again, it was something that I had to overcome. And the second thing that played with me the entire book, and one of the main reasons I continued to read, was Poppy's motivations. Girl, let's get into it. And again, this is gonna sound bad, but I don't mean it as bad. Poppy sometimes is very flip-floppy. She doesn't really know, like, one minute she wants to play the maiden, one minute she wants to actually live, the next minute she wants to go fuck Hawk. Like, it's It's kind of flip-floppy. And I keep waiting for the moments where she lives, because she finally like feels comfortable in herself and she's starting to learn more about herself other than just being the maiden. And so I like the moments that she lived, and that was the moments that I was really like holding on for. But there are moments where I was absolutely fucking terrified for her. Like, Poppy is a very strong woman, and it's been indicated the entire time in the book by people around her that she thought she had no choice to stay with. Like, her friendship with Tawny and the deep father-daughter relationship with her and Victor. Oh my God, Victor, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. For those that know, they know. Which is why the garden scene, like, really fucked with my head in, like, what's right and what's wrong, and, like, what we're supposed to be doing. And that happens a lot through the series, because we're learning about the world through Poppy, because Poppy doesn't know the world. And it's an interesting mechanism that the author's using. Okay, for people that do not want spoilers, the door is there. I'll give you the timestamp right here to skip forward if you don't want any spoilers. For those that have read and want to stay, welcome. Okay, are they gone? I think they're gone. Okay, cool. Can we talk about some shit? Can we do this? Can we talk about some shit? Like, I was so excited that Hawk or Castile really wanted to fill the garden with happier memories to replace the bad memories of Rylan or Guard being killed. And then everything that their snarky little conversation that they have back and forth together, like, ends in a hot makeout sesh. 10 out of 10. But after leaving the garden, she runs into Victor, and then she finally snaps and says the quiet part out loud. And that was a moment that forever changed everything, because that was the last real conversation she had with Victor. And that fucks with my head so much. Like, I don't think you guys realize it really messed with my head. I had to take like a little break from it, and I was like, girl, I can't do that right now. But before she could even like really talk to Victor and try to explain what she meant, increased tension, the Duke is killed, which, good motherfucking riddance. You can exit stage left. Because he was a horrible character, and I'm so glad Cass did what he did. That's all I'm gonna say. Then the raid of dissenters, the people who follow the Dark One, but not really the Dark One. It's complicated. We'll get into it in a review later. And then the Cravens, which, side note, for people that might not know, which if you're still here, what the fuck are you doing? You're really spoiling it, but also good on you, because sometimes you need to read a review before you buy the book. So Cravens are bloodthirsty, like, species with rotting flesh. They are believed to be controlled by Atlanteans, which is what Castile, the Dark One's dissenters, are. They were said to be controlled by Atlanteans, but the truth is that they were created by the Vampire. If a Vampire, or the Ascended, bite a human, the human will turn into a Craven. And that is why we have so many Cravens, and the rot and all that fun jazz. And the fog and the mist, you know the word. If you know, you know. So the dissenters and Craven raid the castle during the rite, which pushes all of them into like this small corridor room on the side of the castle, where she must fight in front of the Duchess, who is a scumbag and knew about the Duke's shit with Poppy, or corrections with Poppy, and I hope she gets everything she deserves, because fuck that bitch too. Only for Victor to die at the end of it. I'm like, are you be so for real right now? Now, obviously, I'm just paraphrasing, but once action started with Poppy, there has been no peace. Like, which is honestly a good way to look at the first book in this series. As it kind of states this shit all the way back in chapter 1, when she met with Hawk at the Red Pearl. Hello friends, welcome back. You didn't miss much, although you did miss some. And for those of you that stick through it and watch the whole review and have not read the book, please go buy the book. Support authors, support writers, WGA, support writers. Like, these worlds are still cool, and they might be cool to you, even though my opinion on the book might not be as, what you would want to hear. So all that being said, everything changed the moment she went to that red pearl. With that reason, I'm going to give From Blood and Ash, the first book, an 8.7 out of 10. I'm really, really excited to read the second book, which, P.S., I already read. I've already got the review coming, so stay tuned. But I'm really excited to read book 2 because the cliffhanger that they left with this first book, oof, girl, I don't want to spoil, but for the girls that know, they know. And yeah, so that is the first episode of Chaos Corner. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode and sneak peek into the rest of the Blood and Ash series. It took a twist that I didn't expect, but I'm excited to give you these reviews. So yes, the second book is from A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, which again,
I have it done. I already recorded it. It's on the way. I just need to edit it. It's almost here. Hello.
So yeah, if you've read this book, let me know your opinions in the comments below. Which scenes kind of stuck out to you as the worst? I know for me it was the garden. The garden scene and then the follow-up with Victor. I think that was kind of the turning point for me that I was like, ooh my God, my heart. So yeah, if you've read this book or you plan to read this book, let me know down in the comments. And if you have any other book recommendations or books that you want me to read or review, let me know. Put them down below. I'm always excited for more books. I'm constantly reading. So seriously, give me the recommendations. I will fucking love it. And don't forget to do all the fun stuff all the way down here. Right down there. Like, and subscribe, and comment, and tell me what you like, because I love to hear it. But yes, don't forget to hydrate or die straight, and I love you guys very much. Mwah. Bye!